Development and clinical trials of engineered muscle patches by 2024, an overview of key phases in budget allocation. Introduction. The development of engineered muscle patches represents a significant advancement in regenerative medicine aiming to address muscle injuries and degenerative conditions. This initiative is structured around a strategic plan that spans 4 key phases with a total budget allocation of $15 million. This report aims to detail the phases of development budget allocation, common and differing perspectives from various sources, and a timeline for the project. Key phases of development. 1. Research and Development 2023. The initial phase focuses on the design and fabrication of engineered muscle patches. Researchers are tasked with selecting appropriate biomaterials that exhibit high biocompatibility with human tissue while ensuring structural integrity. The exploration of incorporating smart fabrics embedded with sensors is a significant innovation within this phase. These sensors aim to monitor physiological responses in real time, enhancing the functionality of the muscle patches and improving patient outcomes. 2. Preclinical Testing 2024. Following successful material selection and initial fabrication, preclinical testing will commence using animal models. This critical phase will assess the safety and efficacy of the engineered muscle patches. Various mechanical properties will be scrutinized, including tensile strength, elasticity, and biocompatibility. Advanced imaging techniques will be employed to monitor the integration of the muscle patches with host tissues over time, providing valuable data on healing processes and functional outcomes. 3. Clinical Trials 2025. Upon successful completion of preclinical testing, the project will transition to human clinical trials. These trials will be structured in phases to ensure thorough safety assessments before broader application. The design of clinical trials will incorporate adaptive methodologies, allowing for iterative feedback from early trial outcomes to enhance subsequent phases. Ethical considerations and informed consent will be paramount throughout this stage to protect participants. 4. Regulatory Approval 2026. The final phase focuses on preparing comprehensive documentation for regulatory bodies such as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration (FDA). This includes compiling all data from previous phases, emphasizing the safety and efficacy of the engineered muscle patches. Engaging with regulatory agencies early in this process is crucial for navigating the complexities of approval, ultimately facilitating timely market entry. Budget allocation. The total budget of $15 million is strategically allocated to support critical activities throughout the development process. Biocompatibility testing. A significant portion of the budget will ensure that the materials used in the muscle patches do not provoke adverse immune responses. This aspect is crucial for any medical implant, as biocompatibility directly correlates with patient safety and the success of the intervention. Scalability research. Funds will also be directed towards developing robust manufacturing processes that allow for the mass production of muscle patches while maintaining high quality and efficacy. This research is vital for future commercialization and ensuring that the product can meet market demand. Regulatory compliance. A portion of the budget will be allocated to engage with regulatory agencies, facilitating the approval process. This includes legal and administrative costs associated with preparing documentation and conducting necessary studies to meet regulatory standards. Common key points from sources. Biocompatibility and regulatory approval. Across all sources, the importance of biocompatibility and achieving regulatory approval is stressed as fundamental to the success of engineered muscle patches. Integration of smart materials. The incorporation of smart materials and sensors is frequently highlighted, indicating a trend towards creating more interactive and responsive medical devices that can monitor patient health in real time. Critical nature of preclinical and clinical stages. The preclinical and clinical testing phases are consistently acknowledged as pivotal pathways that will determine the overall success of the engineered muscle patches. Differences between sources. While there is general consensus on the importance of biocompatibility and regulatory processes, some sources exhibit differing focuses. Certain studies delve deeper into the technical aspects of smart fabric integration, while others emphasize the regulatory and logistical challenges faced during clinical trials. Methodological differences also arise regarding biocompatibility testing approaches, with some advocating for traditional methodologies while others propose innovative techniques. Timeline of events. 1. 2023, initial research and development phase begins, focusing on material selection and design. 2. 2024, preclinical testing conducted using animal models to gather safety and efficacy data. 3. 2025, clinical trials initiated with results expected to inform further development. 4. 2026, documentation for regulatory approval prepared, aiming for market entry shortly thereafter. Conclusion. In conclusion, the initiative to develop engineered muscle patches is a multifaceted endeavor that merges cutting-edge technology with clinical applications. The structured phases of development, coupled with a strategic budget allocation, form a comprehensive pathway toward potentially transformative medical treatments. The integration of innovative materials and adherence to rigorous testing and regulatory processes will be critical to the success of this project, ultimately striving to improve patient outcomes in regenerative medicine. The development and clinical trials of engineered muscle patches by 2024 highlights several counterintuitive aspects within the discussions surrounding their phases, budget allocation, and overall viability in the medical field. Here are some of the key counterintuitive points. 1. High budget for biocompatibility testing. A significant portion of the $15 million budget is allocated specifically for biocompatibility testing. While one might expect that biocompatibility would be a standard component in most medical device developments, the emphasis on it here underscores a fundamental challenge. Many materials that appear suitable for use in engineered tissues can still provoke significant immune responses. The expectation might be that once materials are deemed biocompatible, they are ready for use. However, rigorous testing and validation are necessary due to the complexities of biological interactions. 2. Regulatory approval complexity. The project anticipates regulatory challenges that may seem excessive given the advancements in bioengineering. While one might assume that a focus on innovative technologies like smart fabrics should expedite the approval process, the reality is that new technologies often face stricter scrutiny. This paradox highlights the cautious nature of regulatory bodies that prioritize safety over innovation even when technologies have shown promise in preclinical studies. 3. Integration of smart fabrics. The integration of smart fabrics with sensors is intended to enhance the functionality of muscle patches. One might think that adding complex features like real-time monitoring would complicate the design and increase costs unnecessarily. Instead, the opposite may be true. The addition of monitoring capabilities could ultimately streamline patient care by providing immediate feedback on healing, potentially reducing long-term costs and improving outcomes. This shifts the perspective from viewing complexity as a drawback to seeing it as an enhancement of overall value. For iterative feedback in clinical trials, the design of clinical trials incorporates feedback loops for continuous improvement based on initial outcomes. This approach may seem counterintuitive in a field where pre-established protocols are the norm, as it appears to introduce uncertainty. However, this flexible methodology can lead to more adaptive trial designs that can respond to unforeseen challenges, ultimately improving patient safety and efficacy. 5. Scalability research. Despite novelty, there is a focus on scalability research in the early phases of development, which may seem premature given that the technology is still in the testing phase. Typically, one might expect scalability considerations to arise only after successful trials. However, addressing scalability early can lead to more feasible and cost-effective manufacturing processes, thereby facilitating faster market entry once regulatory approval is achieved. 6. Emphasis on traditional testing methods. While innovative methodologies for testing biocompatibility are being proposed, there remains a reliance on traditional testing methods. This may seem outdated in a rapidly evolving field. However, the combination of traditional and innovative approaches could provide a more comprehensive understanding of material interactions, balancing caution with progress. 7. Perceived limitations of smart materials. The integration of smart materials is often seen as a luxury or an enhancement rather than a necessity. However, the real-time data provided by these materials could prove essential in clinical settings, particularly for monitoring healing processes and adjusting treatments dynamically. This challenges the notion that advanced technology is optional in medical applications. 8. Risk of failure versus potential reward. While the development of engineered muscle patches carries significant risks, the potential benefits for patients suffering from muscle degeneration or trauma are substantial. This juxtaposition reveals a counterintuitive truth: the higher the risk, the greater the potential for breakthroughs that can transform medical treatments. Stakeholders may thus be more willing to invest in high-risk, high-reward projects than in more conservative approaches. In conclusion, the project for developing engineered muscle patches illustrates several counterintuitive dynamics in biomedical innovation where traditional expectations clash with the realities of advancement in medical technology. The emphasis on rigorous testing, adaptive methodologies, and the integration of novel materials reflects a complex interplay of caution, innovation, and the potential for significant medical breakthroughs. The report on the development and clinical trials of engineered muscle patches by 2024 outlines a structured approach with a $15 million budget allocation. While the primary focus tends to be on biocompatibility testing, scalability, and regulatory approval, several important aspects may be overlooked, which are crucial for the overall success of this initiative. Key overlooked content and significance. 1. Integration of smart materials. The report notes the integration of smart fabrics with sensors into engineered muscle patches. While the benefits of such technology are mentioned, the potential applications and the transformative impact on patient care might not be fully appreciated. Smart materials can provide real-time monitoring of biological responses, allowing for tailored therapeutic interventions. This is significant because it represents a shift towards personalized medicine where treatments can be adjusted based on real-time data, potentially improving healing outcomes and patient satisfaction. 2. Biocompatibility testing methodologies. The report emphasizes the critical nature of biocompatibility testing but may not delve deeply into the specific methodologies that will be employed. Innovative approaches such as organ-on-a-chip technologies or 3D bioprinting could be instrumental in simulating human tissue responses more accurately than traditional animal models. The significance of using advanced biocompatibility testing methods lies in their potential to predict human responses more effectively, reducing the likelihood of adverse reactions when the patches are applied in clinical settings. 3. Scalability challenges. Although scalability is acknowledged as a budget focus, the complexities surrounding the manufacturing processes might be understated. The transition from laboratory-scale production to mass manufacturing often encounters obstacles such as material sourcing, cost control, and maintaining quality assurance. Understanding these challenges is vital because they can significantly affect timelines and the feasibility of bringing engineered muscle patches to market. Efficient scalability strategies can lead to reduced costs, making these patches more accessible to patients. 4. Regulatory approval process. The report outlines the need for regulatory compliance but may not address the evolving landscape of regulatory frameworks for innovative medical devices. Engaging with regulatory bodies early in the development process can facilitate smoother navigations through approval stages. The significance of this is profound. A proactive regulatory strategy can not only expedite approvals but also shape product design to meet compliance standards more effectively, ultimately leading to faster market entry. 5. Feedback loops in clinical trials. The design of clinical trials includes feedback loops for continuous improvement based on initial outcomes. However, the mechanisms for implementing these feedback loops may not be thoroughly described. Creating robust systems for collecting and analyzing data during trials is essential, as this can lead to iterative improvements in patch design and application techniques. The ability to adapt based on real-world data can enhance the efficacy of the patches and improve overall patient outcomes. 6. Market adoption and stakeholder engagement. The report does not explicitly address strategies for market adoption and the engagement of various stakeholders, including healthcare providers and patients. Understanding the needs and concerns of these stakeholders is crucial for ensuring that the engineered muscle patches are accepted and utilized in clinical practice. This aspect is significant because stakeholder engagement can lead to better product design, increased trust in new technologies, and ultimately higher rates of adoption in healthcare settings. 7. Long-term monitoring and post-market surveillance. The emphasis on preclinical and clinical phases might overshadow the importance of long-term monitoring and post-market surveillance once the patches are deployed. Establishing a framework for monitoring patient outcomes and potential long-term side effects is critical. This ongoing assessment can provide valuable data for future iterations of the product and ensure patient safety. The significance of this is twofold. It helps build trust in new medical technologies and provides necessary information for regulatory bodies regarding the long-term efficacy and safety of the patches. 8. Cost-benefit analysis and economic viability. The financial allocation of $15 million is likely focused on research and development, but a comprehensive cost-benefit analysis might be underreported. Understanding the economic viability of engineered muscle patches, including their potential to reduce overall healthcare costs by improving recovery times and reducing complications, is essential for gaining buy-in from healthcare systems and insurance providers. This analysis can also guide pricing strategies to ensure accessibility while sustaining development efforts. 9. Ethical considerations. Ethical considerations surrounding the development and application of engineered muscle patches may not be adequately addressed. Issues such as equitable access to these advanced treatments, informed consent regarding the use of innovative technologies, and the implications of using animal models for testing are crucial. The significance of addressing ethical questions lies in fostering public trust and ensuring that advancements in medical technology benefit all segments of the population. 10. Interdisciplinary collaboration. The report highlights a multidisciplinary approach but may not fully articulate the importance of collaboration among various fields such as materials science, biology, engineering, and clinical practice. The significance of interdisciplinary collaboration cannot be overstated. It drives innovation and ensures that all aspects of the product, from design to clinical application, are considered holistically, enhancing the likelihood of success. In conclusion, while the report provides a solid framework for the development and clinical trials of engineered muscle patches, attention to these often overlooked areas can significantly enhance the initiative's success. By addressing these critical points, stakeholders can ensure that the transition from concept to clinical application is not only effective but also sustainable and beneficial for patients and healthcare systems alike. 1. Biocompatibility testing. This phase is crucial as it ensures that the materials used in the engineered muscle patches do not evoke adverse immune responses. The success of the project hinges on thorough biocompatibility studies, which must demonstrate that the patches can safely integrate with human tissue without causing inflammation or rejection. 2. Clinical trials. The transition from preclinical testing to human trials marks a significant milestone in the development process. This phase involves strict adherence to safety protocols and the incorporation of feedback mechanisms to refine the patches based on real-world outcomes. The design of these trials is critical for validating the efficacy and safety of the muscle patches in human subjects. 3. Regulatory approval. The final phase involves preparing comprehensive documentation for regulatory bodies like the FDA. This phase is essential for ensuring that all safety and efficacy data from previous research stages are meticulously compiled and presented, which is necessary for obtaining market approval and ultimately bringing the product to patients. For integration of smart technologies, the inclusion of smart materials with sensors in the muscle patches represents a significant innovation. This technology allows for real-time monitoring of biological responses, enhancing the functionality of the patches. The advancement of smart fabrics also demonstrates a trend in regenerative medicine towards more interactive and responsive medical devices, suggesting a future where medical implants can provide dynamic feedback on their performance and the patient's condition. 1. The development of synthetic skin. One of the most notable historical cases similar to the development of engineered muscle patches is the research and eventual clinical use of synthetic skin for burn victims. In the 1990s, researchers developed a product called Integra, an artificial skin substitute made from silicone and a collagen matrix, which was used to treat severe burns. This represented a significant advancement in regenerative medicine, allowing for improved healing and significantly better outcomes for patients. The development process involved extensive R&D followed by preclinical testing on animal models and ultimately clinical trials to ensure safety and efficacy before receiving FDA approval. 2. The use of biodegradable stents. Another historical case is the development of biodegradable stents, which are used in medical procedures to keep blood vessels open. Initially, metal stents were used, but they posed significant long-term risks, including restenosis and thrombosis. Researchers turned to biodegradable polymers that could provide temporary support to the vessel and then dissolve safely in the body. The development process included detailed research on material properties, extensive preclinical trials, and a rigorous clinical trial phase to ensure patient safety and device effectiveness, culminating in regulatory approval. 3. The HeartMate Left Ventricular Assist Device (LVAD). The HeartMate LVAD development is a prime example of engineering innovation in cardiovascular support devices. Initially developed in the 1980s, the HeartMate underwent numerous iterations and extensive testing. The key phases included initial design and R&D, followed by extensive preclinical testing in animal models to evaluate biocompatibility and mechanical performance. Clinical trials were subsequently initiated to assess safety and efficacy in human patients with severe heart failure. Over the years, the HeartMate has received multiple FDA approvals through its evolution, showcasing the importance of rigorous testing and regulatory compliance in medical device development. Future outlook: predictions for the development and clinical trials of engineered muscle patches by 2024. The development of engineered muscle patches is poised to revolutionize regenerative medicine by 2024. This initiative is structured into 4 distinct phases backed by a $15 million budget primarily focused on biocompatibility testing, scalability, and regulatory approval. As we look forward, several predictions can be made regarding the trajectory of this project. 1. Advancements in research and development (R&D). By early 2024, the R&D phase is anticipated to yield significant breakthroughs in the design and fabrication of engineered muscle patches. Innovations in biomaterials will likely lead to the creation of more effective patches that closely mimic natural muscle tissue. Integration of smart fabrics. The incorporation of smart fabrics with embedded sensors will enable real-time monitoring of physiological parameters such as temperature, pH, and mechanical stress. This will enhance the functionality and usability of the muscle patches in clinical settings. Biomaterial optimization. Continued research will refine the selection of biomaterials, focusing on those that promote cell adhesion and tissue integration, thereby enhancing the patch's effectiveness and longevity. 2. Preclinical testing success. The preclinical testing phase is expected to conclude successfully by late 2024. Providing robust evidence for the safety and efficacy of the engineered muscle patches. Animal model trials. Comprehensive tests on various animal models will demonstrate the patch's ability to integrate and function within living tissues. The use of advanced imaging techniques will facilitate the monitoring of healing processes, leading to data that supports a smooth transition to human trials. Data-driven improvements. Feedback from preclinical studies will likely lead to iterative improvements in patch design, addressing any safety or efficacy concerns raised during testing. 3. Clinical trials initiation. With successful preclinical results, clinical trials are expected to kick off in early 2025. These trials will be phased and designed to ensure rigorous safety assessments. Phased approach. Initial trials will focus on small patient cohorts, gradually expanding as safety data accumulates. This method will allow for adjustments based on early findings. Optimizing protocols for larger population studies. Patient-centric design. Engaging patients in trial design will be crucial to ensure that the patches meet clinical needs and enhance patient outcomes. User feedback will guide the refinement of the patches and their application in therapeutic settings. 4. Regulatory approval pathway. The final phase will involve the preparation of comprehensive documentation for regulatory bodies such as the FDA. Streamlined regulatory process. With increasing support for innovative medical devices, regulatory pathways for engineered muscle patches may become more streamlined. Early engagement with regulatory agencies will facilitate a clearer understanding of the requirements, potentially expediting approval timelines. Emphasis on innovation. The regulatory approval process will likely place significant emphasis on the innovative aspects of the muscle patches, particularly their smart fabric integration and biocompatibility. Successful demonstration of these features will be critical to securing market entry. 5. Market readiness and adoption. Assuming successful clinical trials and regulatory approval, the engineered muscle patches are expected to enter the market shortly after 2026. Clinical applications. The patches are predicted to find applications in various therapeutic areas, including orthopedic surgery, cardiac repair, and treatment of muscle degenerative diseases. This versatility will drive demand and adoption across multiple medical specialties. Healthcare integration. The integration of engineered muscle patches into standard healthcare practices will likely be facilitated by partnerships with hospitals and clinics, along with educational initiatives to familiarize clinicians with the new technology. Conclusion. The future of engineered muscle patches looks promising, with significant advancements anticipated in R&D, successful preclinical and clinical testing, and a streamlined regulatory approval process. If these predictions hold true, the engineered muscle patches could significantly impact regenerative medicine, enhancing patient care and outcomes in various therapeutic areas by the end of the decade.